Welcome to Spicy Toast Gaming. Thank you for tuning in to another Spicy Toast video. This is going to be a build video for Diana, and a build that does not involve Gale Force. So I'm calling this the Hextech Fabricator Diana build, and it is based on using her champion spell to give you a bunch of items, bonus stats, and draw. So for the relics, we're going with a Archangel Staff, so that we're going to be refilling our spell mana every round. Since Diana is pretty cheap, we're going to be getting effect of this for most of the entire game. Then we're going with two counter plans. So round start, create a fleeting copy of me in hand. That's going to happen twice. And since we have Diana on the board, the copies of her are going to turn into her champion spell. Her champion spell is the Pale Cascade, so give an ally 1/1 this round, Nightfall, draw 1, and then create a Diana in your deck. So we're going to be able to give bonus stats, we're going to get more draw, and then we're going to be putting a bunch of Dianas in our deck, which is then going to give us more Pale Cascades. So all of that is pretty good on its own. It's also going to help Diana level up very quickly. But the best thing about this is that as part of her level ups, Pale Cascade gets the Hextech Fabricator. So you give your strongest ally a rare item this game that's normally going to always be Diana. So we're not only giving her a bunch of temporary stats and more draw, we're also giving her a ton of items, so she's just going to turn into an absolute monster. Now, this isn't going to win games as fast as like a Gale Force build, but this will be quite fun, give you a very powerful Diana, still should end the games relatively quickly. And this is a build where you don't need Gale Force, so if you don't like the play style of Gale Force, or you just don't have a Gale Force yourself, this can be a fun alternative. Now, I'm going a little bit extreme with the two counter plans, but if you just have one, that would also work out fine. So let's go hop into a Galio match to showcase this. We're hopefully going to be getting some powers that reduce our spell cost or reduce the cost of our created cards. Alright, so armed gearheads, this will actually be decent. Since we're creating so many cards, they will level up quite quickly. So let's go take on the Dauntless Vanguard. If you guys enjoy these sorts of build videos, definitely like and subscribe. We're putting out daily content for Path of Champions and covering any news that gets released for the game mode. We have Diana. We will re-roll most of these. Crescent Guardian is pretty great. You get a lot of stats there, so we will hold on to that. Alright, we didn't get any 1-drops, but we will just play Diana, even without the Nightfall. We want to have her on board for the round start next round, so that she's going to refill our spell mana and then make the 2 copies of herself.
Question all that you are told. Dodge this.
We'll let this unit die, even though it will let them summon another unit next round. We don't want to take that for Nexus damage. Alright, so right off the start, we are getting some good items on Diana, buffing her stats up significantly. So we've put a good amount of copies of Diana in our deck.
The promise of a new moon upon you, Bloom Tender.
And Diana's already almost able to level up.
I cannot turn back. Face your heretic.
So we're grabbing the 1 unit with the 3 health because our other 2 units will be able to kill either of their units. If I left this 4 health unit out here, he would block our gearhead and kill him.
I'm ready.
If you were wanting to use a similar build, but you wanted to end the games a bit faster, what you probably would want to do is throw on a Troll King's Crown to give all of your units Overwhelm. That would probably be rather helpful.
Bloom and fade with the morning.
We'll get 1 Overwhelm unit out here so we can end the game a little bit faster.
Find your path in the dark and follow no false light.
Now I pack a punch.
So one thing with this build is you're going to have plenty of combat tricks to always try to swing encounters in your favor. So here, we already know that Diana's going to get buffed with the items, and the Gearhead's going to get buffed with the created cards. So we'll buff up the Crescent Guardian with the temporary stats. And you see we can just keep playing these, and we keep drawing more cards, and quite often the card we're drawing is another Pale Cascade.
This is progress.
No more lies.
So the build does feel quite similar to something like a Master Yi, where you might try to get Master Yi on the board and then keep playing his spells to generate more spells to just buff up your units to an insane amount. So if you like that sort of play style, this also works, and vice versa. If you have played this sort of build on Diana before and you really like it, you might want to check out Master Yi, as he can play in much a similar way. So this is a bit expensive. A 3-cost 5/3 with quick attack isn't bad, and if we play this with Nightfall, that quick attack will go to double attack, so this will probably work out the best for us. Alright, I think the Elusive Fizz will probably be best, especially since Fizz plays with, or scales with plain spells, which we're going to be doing plenty of. We'll actually go for the item chest, since it still has a chance to give our spells a item. Better than getting a different spell that we don't want to add to our deck. So we're keeping our 2 3-drops as they're both very powerful.
Every work demands a piece of ourselves.
Yep.
Where's my hammer?
Go on, shake my hand.
So we want to just save the mana for Diana.
Embrace the night. Night flowers upon my blade. The promise of a new moon upon you, Bloom.
Alright, we'll see how much we can buff up our Diana. We should be able to buff her up enough to block this Badger Bear.
This is glorious.
grows brighter. The moon is our queen. The night, her kingdom.
Alright, so since we were able to play Diana this time with the Nightfall, she has double attack. The one issue, though, is since we don't yet have Overwhelm, most of that damage is going to be lost. So if you don't yet have... well, that rally's nice. If you don't yet have Overwhelm on Diana, and you know you're going to get blocked out, then always playing her for the Nightfall effect isn't quite as important with this build, since you just need her on board to give you the mana and the champion spells. So we'll play our Kingpin here so we can get another double attack unit, and that way they can't block two of them. Alright, very nice that they are attacking. So we can block with our Diana. And now when we attack, they won't have any blockers. So this build is really nice if you like having a very strong champion that you're just really generating a lot of power and resources with. One issue is then, since we're putting all of our power on the champion, it really is going to hurt if we don't draw them. So this will actually be decent if we play this with our Diana. Being able to give them Overwhelm for the round, be fairly strong. Yeah, I think we'll go for a little bit more draw with the Shade Stalker. I think we'll get rid of the Priestess. Never really that big of a fan of it. It's kind of the weakest card we have. Zoe shouldn't be an issue since we have Diana with our Challenger. So we're just going to reroll both of our Stalker and Kingpin here. We're wanting to get Diana. These both will help to get our Nightfall off so we can get the quick attack on Diana, and then the Zenith Blade for the Overwhelm to try to end the game. I guess we'll go with Fizz here. Always good to have one cost units with Diana.
Embrace the night.
So they probably have another Zoe in hand, but always good to get them off the board.
A little luck for those who need it.
So we'll try to set up to win with our next attack turn.
Gems are superb. Bad for the teeth, though.
So we want to give our Dustbringer that quick attack and the
Night
extra stats.
blade, the promise of a new moon upon you, Blue Tender.
And here we're just trying to get more items and stats on Diana, as well as progress towards her level up.
Find your path in the dark and follow no false light.
So one thing you do have to worry about with this build is getting that Radiant Plate Armor. It's good because it gives you the 4/4, but if your Diana does ever die somehow, it's going to be really tough to play her again because she's going to cost much more, especially if you get a lot of them on your Diana. So we're going to play the Zenith Blade here to give the Overwhelm, and then we'll try to go for the win.
Of course, he picked the highest king.
Now I pack a punch.
So just trying to buff up our Diana as much as possible. All of our other units are going to get blocked. We'll grab the one unit of theirs that has the least amount of health,
I will be heard.
so that more damage will go through on their Nexus.
This is not the way.
Alright, very, very nice.
A full moon casts her light across the land.
So since we killed the boss, it'll give us a champion item. So Shadow Totem can be decent, not quite as good though as when you're using the Gale Force build. I think I'd rather just have the general stats. So I think I'll actually do a reroll here, see if we can get something a little bit better. I think I'll just go for the tough, to be honest. We're going to have so much draw, and the Shadow Totem is really not going to give us as much effect as it does with other builds or other champions. So just having the tough to be able to block more will be pretty decent. You normally don't need tough if you're playing the Gale Force build, because then you're normally never blocking with Diana. But here, Diana's going to be on the board full time, and we want her to both be able to block and attack. So a fleeting time and dedication, the one good thing about this is it gives us a free way to trigger our Nightfall every single round. So that's pretty decent. Best defense, not bad, gives a lot of our units good survivability, and then even reunited, just giving all of our units a bit more attack. Also decent. I'm hoping to get something, though, that is more of reducing spell costs, but I think I'll go with the Craftsman's Favor for now. Hopefully we can get Spellslinger to make all of our spells cost one less, or even Wild Inspiration of our created cards cost one less. Both would have good synergy with the Craftsman's Favor. So we'll start with this and save our rerolls a bit later. Alright, we'll go for that item chest. Alright, we don't really need Heaven's Align anymore since we already have that power we just picked up for the time of dedication. Dustbringer, always good to have, and the Crescent Guardian, so many stats with Overwhelm.
Nothing to worry about.
Alright, we'll play the time dedication, and then our Diana.
Ill met by moonlight.
Put an end to magic.
Actually, we'll block with this unit since she's going to kill either of them either way. Might as well keep our one that has a bit more stats on it.
Now I pack a punch.
Alright, I think we'll actually get our... potentially our Crescent Guardian on the board.
Root out magic.
At its source. I will be heard.
This is glorious.
So the items are now going to go on our Crescent Guardian because he's currently stronger than Diana, but that's honestly fine since he has Overwhelm and Diana does not.
Search then.
History will judge you.
Contain the arcane.
See? This is progress.
So we're still going to buff up our Crescent Guardian, even though the buffs are going to be temporary right now.
It tried to blind me with respect.
We're wanting to get items on them,
Not break me.
as well as leveling up our Diana. So we're really just trying to prepare for our
This is progress.
next attack. And we want to use our fleeting spells every round if possible. I think we'll just stun their unit though, so we have a free attack next turn. So they're stunned and we can just attack and end the game.
Glorious.
So we already have more than enough damage, so we'll hold off on any more spells, just in case they have something to try to counter what we're doing. Alright, they have that, but that's actually not really going to do anything. Alright, very nice. So still winning the game pretty early on.
Speak, and they will hear us.
Normally it is going to be a little bit slower than the Gale Force OTK build, but still pretty fun and a nice change of pace. We'll go with Bouncing Bomb here. We are hopefully going to get more powers that help our spells, so this would be nice to have. Crescent Guardian Spell Shield, pretty good. Alright, so we have Double Trouble as a slow spell, Zenith Blade as a slow spell, and Bouncing Bomb. So not amazing, as we're not going to be playing any of these spells too often, but it's not bad. Here's another slow spell. I think we'll actually go with Shield Vault, since we'll just cost 1 mana, be another slow spell that's granting an ally 2/2, essentially, since it's going to go off twice. And yeah, we'll go towards the item chest. Alright, let's see what we have here. We'll hold on to Shield Vault, we'll hold on to 1 Crescent Guardian. And we're able to draw Diana. Nice.
if I do.
By the moon's crescent blade.
Alright, so that will be able to kill Diana,
Night
I believe.
I will be
Yes.
heard.
So we won't bother attacking this round. Also, if we don't kill it, so if we attacked with one of these two, it would then survive and kill our unit and then be able to heal up. So we'll just hold off for right now.
These jewels are more than mere trinkets.
See? This is progress.
So I could do this, but honestly, it's going to go off twice, and that would be wasted since we only have 3 slots, and this is already going to give us 3 because it's going to summon 2 1-cost followers and then the summoning beacon. So I'm going to play the shield vault here, just so they only have 1 challenger unit on the board.
Upgrade. Nice.
The journey is difficult. These will protect you.
This is glorious.
Alright, so they're not even going to bother to attack. Perfect. So, since our Diana still doesn't have Overwhelm, and the Hextech Fabricator, the rare one can't generate Overwhelm, the common one can. So we're just going to buff up our other unit, since it's going to buff up all of our other units as well.
But they could not break me.
Buffing the Crescent Guardian increases our gear hands with the created card, and then Diana with the
Now I pack a punch.
Nightfall.
Our light grows brighter.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Face your heretic.
Alright, so we'll be able to remove
Burn my gift.
all of their cards. Well, I guess other than that one. And we get a good amount of damage down on their Nexus.
Night flowers upon my blade.
The promise of a new moon upon you, Bloom Tender.
Through the darkness, I see something new.
It is so annoying how that just completely goes through Spell Shield. So the reason that happens is Spell Shield only blocks things that go on the stack. So that's this right here. So any spell or skill that goes onto this will get blocked by Spell Shield. But if it's something like that, where it just happens immediately, that's why it goes through Spell Shield.
Don't mind if I do.
Alright, sure. We'll use this here to get rid of their one unit. We don't want to just damage their unit if we're not actually going to kill them. because they're just going to heal up.
This is progress.
We will be free.
Alright, so we'll just be able to open attack this turn, doing a bunch of damage to their Nexus.
Don't mind if I do. This is glorious.
Gotta get that Challenger first.
I will be heard.
And we should win right here.
A full moon casts her light across the land.
Alright, on to the second boss, I believe, Viego. Free shield vault, I'm fine with that. I'm actually going to use a reroll here. I want something better. Mana deposit for Crescent Guardian, pretty good. If we have multiple of these in our hands, then we can just play them all at once. Ardent Censer actually wouldn't be bad in the sense that this is going to go off twice. So that is something to consider, but I do prefer the mana deposit. So I'm actually going to get rid of the Mountain Goat.
No power in this world.
And let's take on Viego. Double Trouble would give us a lot of units. I think I'll actually hold on to this just in case they do something like a Ruination or they just happen to wipe our whole board. It's supposed to be a decent backup. I'll get rid of the Pale Cascade as we're going to be generating a lot of these with our Diana. And then both of our Kingpin and Dustbringer are pretty good units to have. So, since we have that tough, we'll just block with this unit here. We will have to be careful. They have Vengeance that they can play for just 4 mana. So we will have to watch out for that. And try to spread our stats out a decent amount. Here we'll be able to play both Crescent Guardian and a Kingpin, which is pretty nice. Alright, here we're actually going to buff up the Kingpin since he's going to get double attack off.
This is glorious.
The moon is our queen, the night her kingdom.
Very nice. So still in the first, I think, yeah, this is our first attack round, and we are ending the game. Oh, very nice.
We speak, and they will hear us.
So the Reckoner's Mark will probably just end up killing us. Potentially. So we'll just go with a pickaxe for the extra damage. So counterfeit production can be really good for your Nightfall, but we already have another spell that can do that. Hold it while it's fine. We're really wanting to get something to help our spells. So quick draw, not bad, as we do have a lot of draw. Even Fixer Upper and Lion Weight, these are all decent. We're really wanting to get something like Spellslinger though, or Wild Inspiration. So we're going to try one more reroll. Alright, so a little unfortunate, but Trifarian Might is pretty decent. Most of the units we're going to play do have over 5+ power, so we'll get a lot of free removal. Alright, we'll go for the item chest, so we'll take on the Battlesmith. So we'll get rid of the Shade Stalker and even Fizz. Hold on to the Kingpin and Diana. Just checking here. So yeah, our star power gives our units the +2 power if they have the Nightfall.
This is glorious!
By the moon's crescent blade.
So that Trifarian is really going to help us out a lot.
Dodge this!
Again, we'll use the one that has the less stats since they both would die.
Evolve me. See? This is progress.
So we're going to play the Crescent Guardian and then the Kingpin. Both of them will be able to remove one of their cards.
Soldiers, me!
New venue, new money.
Now we can just attack and again end the game with our first attack. We can buff up our units, but we'll wait and see if they have anything up their sleeve. Nope. Nice.
The words of the heretic rang true.
Alright, more copies of Crescent Guardian, great, and then Iceborne Gauntlet by itself is pretty strong, although hopefully we're just going to be wiping the board anyways, so we're not going to need that, hopefully, but still nice to have. So Pale Cascade getting 2 draw, this honestly is going to be a little overkill, but just in case we don't have a Diana and we have a Pale Cascade, good way to get Diana on our board. So we'll go for the shop. I mean, not going to say no to Perfected Mana Flow. And then this is normally just pretty amazing. Refilling all of your mana. Four damage Mystic Shot is pretty great, but we already have a pretty full deck. Like over 40 cards, you normally don't want to pick up too many more. So we'll hold off. We have a pretty good build right now. We don't need to dilute our card pool anymore. Alright, nice to have Bottled Constellation and our Crescent Guardian in our opening hand. We'll potentially be able to end this in the first round as well.
the strength of our convictions.
Ill met by
Yeah, their whole board just gone. Alright, how much damage is this? Not enough, but that's alright.
This is progress.
So here we want to buff up our Diana since they don't have blockers. So we're going to get both effects of that double attack off. What are we looking at for damage? Alright, close, and the Kingpin will put us over the top. So we'll replace the idol with him.
the moon is our queen, the night her kingdom.
And now we will just, again, be able to win in the first round. Diana doing Diana things.
We speak, and they will hear us.
Alright, I guess we'll grab Zenith Blade. We haven't really seen it much at all, but that Overwhelm is pretty helpful. Alright, we really don't need Coral Creatures at all. Probably the most useless card we have. I mean, Heaven's Alliance is also fairly useless, but this one's more so. Alright, so they have Senna. So we'll get rid of the Shade Stalker. We'll hold on to the Zenith Blade just in case we need it, and Crescent Guardian. So we're actually going to wait to play anything. They're probably going to play their Senna immediately, and we want to be able to get rid of it.
Long road behind, long road ahead.
One issue is he's probably going to capture it before he strikes it, which is a little sad. But I feel like we need to play him first for the mana refill. I guess I'll just play another one, since, yep, keep getting that mana refill.
By the moon's crescent blade.
See? This is progress.
So again, we're buffing up Diana, because she has double attack and they don't have any blockers.
The night her kingdom.
If they did have blockers and we couldn't give her Overwhelm, we would be wanting to buff up the Overwhelm units. Alright, we'll play Kingpin again for that double attack.
It's good to be the king.
Plug and play.
And again, ending the fight in a single round. Beautiful.
A full moon casts her light across the land.
Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed this video just showcasing another interesting Diana build. Probably not quite as good as the Gale Force one, but still very strong. And if you're sick of using Gale Force, you don't have it, definitely a nice alternative. Again, you probably don't need two counter plans. Just hold it onto one and then potentially throwing in like a Troll King's Crown to give all your units Overwhelm would probably be a bit better. But just having the double counter plans is kind of fun. Hope you guys enjoyed that video. If you did, definitely like and subscribe. I hope you guys have a great day. Thank you for watching that whole video, and thank you to everyone who has subscribed. We've hit over 1,000 subscribers in under 3 months. Thank you so much for the support. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe, like the video. We're putting out daily videos covering everything Path of Champions related. I hope you guys have a great end of your year and a great start to your new year.